Welcome to Reusing Assessments from Class to Class. Before I begin the demonstration, I want to share 3 quick tips to remember when reusing your assessments. First, your assessment must either be in draft form, not published, or already in a content block on one of your class pages. Second, if you want to be able to access the assessment in the class you're moving it from, be sure you copy it and don't move it. Finally, be sure you verify all of the settings for each assessment you move once they are in the new location. You'll want to check the open and close dates, ensure it's either in draft or published form as you prefer, set up or modify any password restrictions, and verify that the gradebook settings are as you need them to be. Now, let's get started with the demonstration.
Reusing assessments can seem tricky, but with just a few quick tips, you'll be able to manage it with no trouble. First, if you have an assessment already on a page, like on this sample classroom, we're going to take a look and we're going to scroll right down here to the past assignments and then the past assessments. You can see that each assessment goes in its own block. If you already have one ready, you can just copy this content block into a preferably unpublished page in your destination classroom. It will copy over all of the settings, open and close dates, gradebook settings, so remember that you'll need to either ensure it's already set exactly as you want it, or you'll need to remember to modify it once it's in the destination classroom. You can also do this with assignments if they are in a content block. If we scroll up to the top, so you can grab all of the assessments that are displayed by copying them over into your destination classroom, either for a different school year or a different section, and then edit to ensure that all of the settings are as you need them to be. Now, if there are assessments you want to copy that are not in a draft mode, which is very possible, or that are not in a content block, it's going to require an extra step to make a copy first so that you don't lose student data on the existing assessment. To copy an assessment that is not on a page or in a draft mode, we're going to go right over here to our Assessments tab. You can tell that it's not on a page because it will be over here and it will not be on the draft tab. You'll need to select the item that you want to copy. Go to the Manage Assessment drop-down. Select Save As. So we're going to call this one the word joint New, so that we know that this is a copy of the one that we're doing. And if I want to create a separate gradebook entry, I can do so, but to be sure that I'm not duplicating, I'm going to undo this until it's where it needs to be, because I don't want a gradebook entry in the old classroom. I'm going to select Finish here, and now I can make any edits that I need to this assessment. But if I simply click on the Assessment tab and then go to my draft, you'll see that the word joint New is right here. From here, once you find it on the Draft tab, then we can put it into a content block. There's not a way to copy it or move it from the Assessments tab. So we're going to go back to our Pages tab. We're going to go to the Assessment page. Where we are going to add a new content block. Then we're going to go to the Connect and Assess, and we're going to select Assessment. Alright, we do not need to create a new assessment. We are going to select one that's already done and click Publish. I don't want to mess with these settings. I would rather clean them up whenever I get to the new area. So I'm going to look at the block placement over here and finish. So right now it's telling me the exam isn't published. This is our new area. So I'm going to select Publish, and I don't want to create gradebook entry or anything like that yet. I just want my assessment. From here, I can then copy this content block over into another section or into another school year if that's what I need to do. So I'm going to go to an assessment tab here and click Next. Now I can copy this to multiple destinations if I need to. Now if I have multiple assessments on one page, I can copy the whole page over, and that will also take all of the assessments at once. So if I have a lot of assessments I want to copy over, I can make sure they're all on one page, copy that page over into the new area. So now let's go over into the section 2, which is our destination classroom, to make sure by going to our assessments tab that the assessment that we copied over is there. So now we can go either this way or this way. Let's move this over. So this is a look at what the assessment itself looks like. But we can come to our Assess tab. It's not in draft form because it's already published. So we want to find the word Joint New, and it's published on the Assessments page. And we can now manage the assessment by editing gradebook entry, beginning and ending, restricted access, time limit and attempts, all of the settings that we would normally look at. Once we've verified that these are as we want them, then we can either leave it or we can unpublish it if we want to make sure that students are not able to see this yet. So this is now moved over to our Draft tab. So the main thing to remember is that it has to be in a content block on a page to be able to move assessments over from one class year into another class year or from one section into another section. And you also want to remember to copy and not move anything that you want to make sure that you retain a copy of in the original section. Thank you so much for your time. Please be sure to send email to teachertraining@landryacademy.com if you have any questions. Have a great day.